Jim Newsome is with us on the program today. He is CEO and President of South Carolina Ports Authority and joins us in Hong Kong today. Hey, Jim, welcome.
Thanks, Bernie,
to the
for
show.
having
Welcome
me.
to Hong Kong. What are you doing in town, by the way?
Just visiting some clients. We make an Asia business trip once or twice a year to see our customers.
And I'm sure everybody's asking, what's going to happen with this new president? He sounds like an anti-trade guy that wants to put up walls and put up all kinds of barriers. And he's been saying bad things about China. So what are you saying back to them?
It's certainly a hot topic during our meetings, but I never felt that fair trade meant no trade. If you look at the supply chains today of sophisticated companies, are heavily based on global sourcing. Companies like BMW and Michelin and Boeing have invested in South Carolina. They source a lot of parts, from foreign locations. I don't think that's going to change. I think David Ricardo's theory of comparative advantage, the need to trade will be very much intact.
So do you think this was, we at some point we just really do have to let the campaign, kind of dissipate and realize that politics is politics, and the marketing is very different from the administration.
Yeah, campaigning is different than governing, and I think if you look at the appointments in the administration thus far, they're very business focused, very internationally focused. So I'm optimistic that we will continue trading. Trade has slowed down. There's no doubt about that, but that has a lot to do with the slow and the emerging market growth in China and places like that.
Right.
We think that will change, and we actually see a lot more foreign direct investment coming to particularly the U.S. Southeast, and we think that's going to drive exporting and growth in exporting.
Yeah. And when it comes to, obviously, how much manufacturing is retained in the United States, and how much does it make sense to outsource in this ever-changing world? Amidst that, South Carolina, sorry about that, has been a real hub, a real magnet for investment and upper-end manufacturing. Aside from the people that you mentioned, the BMWs of the world, when Boeing was looking for another assembly plant for their 787, they chose what? South Carolina.
South Carolina, right.
Yeah. So they're obviously being a right-to-work state and the free trade hub has meant a lot. What is happening right now with trade? I mean, in terms of activity at the port, the Eurozone is politically challenged right now. But you're also picking up a lot of increased flow from shipping not going just to the West Coast, but actually making the route to the East Coast, because that's where the bulk of the population is, right, on that side.
Right. Well, South Carolina is very manufacturing focused. As you said, BMW's invested $7 billion in 20 years, Michelin $6 billion.
Spartanburg, right?
Right, Spartanburg. Right. And big, there's no substitute for big manufacturing in an economy. I mean, these companies create 10,000 jobs directly and another 20,000 indirectly. So we've been very focused on attracting that. American manufacturing is competitive again. BMW is the largest U.S. manufacturer of cars for export. Most people don't realize that. So they source a lot of parts in Europe, and they source parts in Asia. So that's one theme. The other theme is certainly that there's been a shift in Asia trade from West Coast to the East Coast. 70% of the people live east of the Mississippi River, so the cargo tends to come more on direct vessels to our ports. So we think the Southeast is a good place to be in the port business. Population shifts south, that drives imports, and manufacturing drives exports. So a lot of favorable trends, I would say.
The economic freedoms that South Carolina has really garnered and cherished, do those extend to the port operations as well? I mean, in terms of the kind of people, the kind of workers, the way the port operations are staffed? I mean, vis-a-vis, say, but what happens on the West Coast?
We're one of the most productive ports in America. We have good workforce in South Carolina. That's what's attracted businesses there. People know what a port is in Charleston. They want to work in ports. So we have a very good workforce situation. And workforce is key to attracting jobs and being productive and efficient.
Yeah, and should point out also that Governor of South Carolina is heading to bigger and better things. She's a rising star in the GOP, and Governor Haley is going to be taking a cabinet post very, very soon in the Trump administration. So there's some political changes, but there's a lot of legacy there in her rise. And will those connections, be only good things for you and the state and the port?
I mean, we're all very proud of her. She's done a great job as a governor attracting business to our state. She's very business focused, very entrepreneurial. I think it's a great opportunity for her. I'm sure she'll do a great job. And honestly, I think it's good for our state, our region, and our country.
Yeah. You know, when you hear news about Trump boasting about being able to keep 1,000 aircon carrier jobs in Indiana, but at the same time when maybe hundreds of lower-end jobs are still going to be exported elsewhere. What does that say about the state of manufacturing? It says that America can still lead in certain industries, like your state has proven, right? But there are some things that America is not destined to be.
Well, I mean, I think when we talk about manufacturing growth, as you said, it's sophisticated manufacturing. It's very high-end manufacturing. I think a lot of the global sourcing and retail, that's not going to change. That type of manufacturing is not coming back to the U.S., and it really shouldn't. I don't think anybody has that in mind. But we do think that there's a significant potential for foreign direct investment to drive more manufacturing in the Southeast and ultimately more trade, not only import trade, but export trade. I think we'll be export dominant in time in the Southeast, actually.
All right. It's great talking to you, Jim. Have a good rest of your trip to Asia. Safe travels home.
Thank you for having me.
Happy holidays. Jim Newsome joining us from the South Carolina Ports Authority.